This morning, the New York Times reports that special counsel Robert Mueller is asking questions about the misleading statement reportedly drafted by President Trump about the purpose of the 2016 meeting of top campaign advisors and Russians with dirt on Hillary Clinton. The conversation on board Air Force One is covered in Michael Wolff's best-selling book, Fire and Fury, in which Wolff writes the president insisted that the meeting was purely and simply about Russian adoption policy. That's what was discussed, period. When that explanation was disproven by emails about damaging Clinton documents and Russia's support of the Trump campaign, Wolff writes, quote, the lawyers, in disgust and alarm, saw, in effect, each principal becoming a witness to another principal's potential misdeeds, all conspiring with one another to get their stories straight. Legal team spokesman Mark Corallo was instructed not to speak to the press, indeed not to even answer his phone. Later that week, Corallo, seeing no good outcome and privately confiding that he believed the meeting on Air Force One represented a likely obstruction of justice, quit. And Michael Wolff joins us now. Give us a sense of where you think this is leading, given your reporting in this book.
Well, I think this is a crucial episode. Effectively, the president's Mark Corallo was the spokesperson for the president's legal team, and he said point blank to me, I think that there was an obstruction here, and that the obstruction was actually wide-ranging, and his argument, and Marcus this is a guy who's been involved in these things his entire career, super smart, and he said, you know, when you draft a press announcement that is purposefully misleading, its purpose is to obstruct justice, is to taint the investigators, it's to taint the pool to taint the public mind. I mean, you are specifically out there doing this with the intent to essentially mislead everyone, and it wasn't only so. Mark Corallo was there, and he was kept to as this was going on. But Trump's lawyer was not allowed into this conversation. So all of the people who would have said, hey, wait a minute, this is, you can't do this, were kept out. So Mark Kasowitz, the president's lawyer, was kept on the phone for an hour waiting to get into this conversation. They were on the plane, he was on the ground, and they didn't put him through.
So in your time spent on the couch in the West Wing watching people pass by, Hope Hicks was on the plane that day, one of President Trump's closest counselors and advisors, been with him a long time. Give me your thumbnail sketch of Hope Hicks's relationship to Donald Trump.
You know, this is a super interesting thing. You know, Hope Hicks, you know, her background is as a junior level fashion PR person. She came in, she really has no other professional expertise other than that. She was one of the first people to join the campaign, has been attached to Trump really at the hip since he came down the stairs at Trump Tower. It's a relationship that people spend a lot of time trying to figure out. She's his protector, his enabler. You know, he always likes to have, from a management's point of view, he likes people around him who he dominates, who are essentially weak, who don't speak back to him. And she does his bidding, and she's a perfectly nice person. But she is, that's what she's there to do. And at one point, she and Bannon had a screaming fight. And you know, and it was sort of about this. And Bannon said to her, "If you don't go and get a lawyer now, I'm going to call your father and make him get you one."
Michael, based on your understanding, let's go back to the plane for a minute, Air Force One. Based on your understanding, when Donald Trump said it's all about adoption, what did he know at that moment about the actual content of the meeting? Maybe you could explicate that.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think that he knew he was fully versed. They had sat there and they were discussing what went on, and I mean, certainly Jared knew everything that was going on here, and probably actually the leak from the New York Times had come from Jared or from Jared's lawyers. So this was, I mean, it was very clear what had gone on here, and you know, and I don't know this firsthand, and actually Steve Bannon doesn't know it firsthand, but Steve Bannon said the chances, I think his line was, the chances that those, and this was after the meeting in June 2016 in Trump Tower, the chances that those Jumos did not go up to Trump's office after the meeting were zero. So I think that that's a key question that that obviously the Mueller people are gonna ask Trump. But I think that the answer is he knew everything.
He knew everything.
Susan,
you made some news this weekend talking about things you didn't know firsthand, saying you believed it was true, but you had no proof that the president had an affair with someone in his administration.
Yes.
It's pretty much what you said. Then you kind of led and indicated if you follow the breadcrumbs, you can figure out who it was. After a lot of rumors came out, you know, it was speculation that you meant Nikki Haley, and you said she's embraced it. Don't you find that absolutely irresponsible at this point in time where we are? When you're talking about a woman who's a high-profile woman in the Trump administration,
let me
to go after her without any evidence, without any facts, it just seems that it is so irresponsible.
Well, first thing, I didn't go after her, and secondly, what I meant was I found it puzzling that she would deny something she was not accused of.
wait a minute. Can I just step in here? Let's put this next question, the entire credibility of your book, which was written really quickly.
Excuse me?
Your book.
Yes.
Let's put it on this next question. Do you regret inferring anything about Nikki Haley?
I didn't infer anything about Nikki Haley. What I inferred was that the president is that many of the people around the president believe he is still involved with various women.
No, but you said she spent a lot of time in private time with.
I got it.
I mean, that's exactly what people report. And now, and specifically, that was about her bid to become the Secretary of State. So everywhere in the White House, they were suddenly in quite a panic that this was actually happening,
Michael,
which is why they pushed Pompeo out.
She has embraced it. I'm going to go as far as to say that you might be having a fun time playing a little game, dancing around this, but you're slurring a woman. It's disgraceful.
It's Mika, again, she has been accused of nothing. She has decided to deny what she has not been accused of.
Right.
Certainly, I didn't accuse her of this.
But wait, are you suggesting that the language is not ambiguous in any way in the things that you've said and the way you've stated it?
Are you kidding? You're on the set of Morning Joe. We don't BS here.
Well, read me the language.
Are you kidding me? I'm not reading you anything.
We could play the Bill Maher.
If you don't get it, if you don't get what we're talking about, I'm sorry. This is awkward. You're here on the set with us, but we're done. Michael Wolff, thank you. We're going to go to